So Mojang removed the mob vote, finally. To say it was controversial would be the understatement of the century, but now it's gone. Does this finally mean all the losers from the past Minecraft mob votes will be finally added to the game? In total, there have been 11 mobs who did lose the mob vote over the last 7 years since the mob vote was first introduced way back in 2017. Life was so normal back then. This does not include any biome votes or Chinese mob votes, so don't quote me saying about the crab, as despite Mojang's promise, they've never actually added a single mob vote loser from any of the mob votes, which is pretty crazy to think about. So today, let's explore the possibility of each of the mob vote losers now getting added to the game, that we've now got drops instead of updates. As yeah, there is a high possibility Mojang could finally fulfill their promise, but first I'd really appreciate it if you could quickly subscribe, as we are well on our way to 1.4k subs. Let's get on with today's video. Now, it's probably worth a mention that the 3 losers from the first ever mob vote way back in 2017 have already been confirmed to never being added to the game, which is a bit sad considering they're all hostile, and believe it or not, we've not had a single hostile mob included in any of these mob votes since 2020. So it's safe to say the game is crying out for something hostile, and your comments in my past videos are good proof of that. However, that still leaves with 8 possible mobs we could see in future Minecraft drops. As since these vary in size, we will see small updates which could be focused solely on just adding mobs and their functionalities. We've seen it recently with the armadillo getting added in one of these test drops before we even knew we was getting drops instead of updates. So I think it's a real possibility we'll see these filler drops throughout the year, which are focused on bringing new mobs or possible mini bosses similar to like the Elder Guardian to the game to keep you interested in between the larger updates or drops. If I had to give a prediction on what the first set of mobs to be added to the game would be, I'd probably say the crab, as out of all the losses to the Minecraft vote, this one caused the most controversy, uproar, and yeah, it was the final nail in the coffin for the mob vote, which, to be fair, it was very useful, and you lot decided to vote the armadillo. I also think these are closely followed by the tuff golem and also the copper golem, as we recently saw a bunch of new blocks added to the game regarding copper and tuff, and these two are very popular with the Minecraft community. On the opposite side of the spectrum though, the only loser I think we'll never see, other than the 3 already confirmed not to be added, is the glare, as simply put, he's probably the most useless out of this entire list. If you didn't know, the glare's job was to fly around and pretty much alert you when the light level is low enough for mobs to spawn. Now, despite this being painfully obvious when mobs can spawn based on the fact that you have eyes, there is also an F3 feature which tells you the block light level. The only concern with a lot of these mobs is Mojang weren't very descriptive in the information they gave us in relation to each mob when they were actually announced. And yes, they did give us a brief overview of each mob, but a lot of information was left out, such as mob drops of certain mobs and how certain features would actually work. This tells me they haven't fully got it figured out, or didn't at the time anyway, and that means they might not be as interested to continue the development of certain mobs out of this list. We've talked about it here on the channel already, but I think biome/mob focus drops will be more common, especially for the likes of Savannah and Desert. The only issue with this is the mob votes that actually lost. Most of the mobs aren't really from warmer climates, so I don't really see them, or I don't really think they'll fit into the Savannah and Desert biome. So I guess the future of mob vote losers getting added to the game is really dependent on the focus of Mojang and Minecraft, with which biomes they decide to update and which updates they actually decide to bring out with this new drop system. Again, that's all speculation though. Overall, I really hope we do see some previous mob vote losers added to the game. It was their promise when they brought the mob vote in originally, and there's some great mobs on that list that did unfortunately lose. However, if you did enjoy, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment your favourite mob that did lose a previous mob vote.